Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another interesting tutorial. So today we are doing something highly requested by some of our subscribers and most of our followers on social media. So thank you so much for all the messages and all the suggestions. We really appreciate you. If you've not been following us, make sure you do so because we are very active on all our social media platforms. All the link to our social media platforms are down on the description box. So don't forget to follow us and join this amazing family. So without any further ado, let's get started. These are the tools that I normally use. If you don't have everything I've got here, you don't have to worry yourself. As long as you have anything that will do the job, you are good to go. I've got my straight ruler, my hip curve ruler, paper scissors, pencil, fabric scissors, eraser, measuring tape, pattern paper, sewing pins, and of course my L square ruler. But you really don't need this if you don't have it. In order for us to draft our pattern, we need to get our pattern paper ready and make sure it's wide enough for your patterns. So for today, we are going to be using the bodice block and the skirt block. Now, if you haven't watched any of our videos on how we drafted the bodice block and the skirt block, we are going to be leaving that on the screen, and also the links are down on the description box. So make sure you check that out before you commence with this dress pattern that we are about to draft. Now, once you have your skirt block and your bodice block, we can go ahead drafting our dress pattern. To start off, we are going to draw a horizontal line across the pattern paper, and to get the right measurement, you need to measure 12 to 13 inches from the top edge of your pattern paper. Once that is done, we are going to then draw a vertical line approximately 1 inch from the edge of your pattern paper, like so. And the measurement for your vertical line will be exactly the length of your dress. So whatever length you choose is totally up to you. And once you figure that out, you can go ahead to get your front bodies. You want to gently place your front bodies on the horizontal line on your pattern paper. In order for you to get an accurate position, you need to follow the notches on the front bodies. By doing this, you need to make sure the bust line on the front bodies matches the horizontal line on your pattern paper. This step is crucial. When your patterns are not properly placed, this may affect the overall drafting process. So you want to make sure you have all your blocks properly placed on the horizontal line. Once you are done placing the front bodies, go ahead to follow the same step for the back bodies. Now we have both blocks properly placed, we can go ahead using our pencil to trace round the blocks. Want to make sure all the information on your block is properly transferred to your pattern, including the notches and the dot lines. Once that is done, we are going to start with our back bodies. From the waistline on our back bodies, we are going to measure 1.5 centimeters. Once that is marked in, we are going to take our straight ruler and draw a straight line connecting that point straight to the front bodies. So you can use your L square ruler or your straight ruler. As long as it gives you the right measurement, you are good to go. And now we have our new waistline. Moving over to the front bodies, we are going to measure 20 centimeters from this point downwards. And this will give us the new hip line. Just get your ruler, measure 20 centimeters from the waistline. Once that is marked in, like we did for the waistline, we are going to draw a straight line connecting back to the back bodies. So feel free to turn your paper if that is easier for you. And from the back waistline, I am going to measure 20 centimeters as well. And this will just give you an accurate line. So once that is drawn in, you need to connect both points together. You want to be very careful, making sure you have a straight line. So that is done. Make sure you label all your lines. So for this line, this is the new hip line. The next step will be for us to get our skirt block. Once we have that, we need to place the edge of the skirt block to the edge of the bodice block. And once you have that on the right position, you can go ahead to trace the skirt block. And you are going to repeat the same step for the front bodies. And once you're done tracing the front and the back skirt block, you're almost done drafting the dress block. Next, in order for us to create a new dot for our dress block, we need to locate the dot position. Placing your measuring tape on the center front towards the apex, you need to measure 4 inches. So it depends on your apex distance. Whatever measurement you've got, make sure you mark in the new point. And moving over to the hip line, you are going to repeat that same step. So once you've placed the new dot position, you need to get your ruler. And you need to connect both lines from the apex point to the hip line. So I'm going to use a dotted line just to identify the dot line. Next, we are going to move over to the back dress block and we are going to repeat that same step. Repeating the same step that we previously did on the front dress block, which is to locate the dot position at the apex point and as well as the hip line. Once we've located both positions, we are going to get our ruler and join both points together with our dotted line. Once you're done with the back block, we have to move over to the front block. From the hip line, you are going to measure 10 centimeters from the hip line upwards. And once you have measured 10 centimeters, you're going to mark a new point, and that will create the new dart for our front dress block. So we're going to get our ruler and draw in the dots. So if you notice our dart is a bit sharp at the edges, realistically, we don't need our darts to be that sharp. So we're just going to take in from both sides 0.5 centimeters. That's half a centimeter from both sides. We're just going to measure that in. So by reducing the darts, we are going to curve our dart edges, making sure they are not as pointy as it used to be, because the human body, especially the bust area, is a bit curvy, so you don't need any sharp edges. So we are going to repeat that same step for the back dress block. And once that is completed, our dress block is ready to go. All we need to do next is to get a fresh pattern paper, place it over our drafted dress block. All you need to do is to get your tracing wheel and trace your drafted pattern. So what I normally do after using my tracing wheel to trace off my pattern, I tend to use my pencil just to make sure all the lines are visible. So once they are done, I am going to get my ruler, my pattern master, my hip curve ruler to draw in the new lines. And once that is done, I am going to add 1 centimeter for my seam allowance. You can use whatever centimeter you require, but I'm just going to use 1 centimeter. Make sure you transfer all the information from your drafted pattern to your new pattern, including the grain lines, the dot lines, and all the notches, everything that you need to transfer. Make sure you do that on your new pattern. Once that is done, you can get your paper scissors to cut out the new pattern. I am going to cut out this new pattern on my calico fabric. It's good practice to try out every new pattern you create. This helps you in case you need any adjustment or amendment. Once you have noticed any adjustment or amendment, you need to refer back to your master draft and make the right corrections. And this is the final look. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps. This is just a basic dress block. And from this block, we are going to create loads of garment, including your corset, blazer, jumper, and even jacket. So make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more of our tutorials on how to draft other kind of garment from this particular block. Until next time, bye for now.